everybody, Geisty here. I wanted to talk to you today about my Dragonmaid deck, but before we get into that, I wanted to talk about how I've been playing lately. So in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to an OTS tournament, and I didn't win. I didn't place top 4, but I won 2 of my 5 matches. And that's a big deal to me, because I was able to beat Eldritch and Trickstar. But mostly Eldritch was the one that I was really proud of beating, so that's awesome. And then last week, I won 3 of my 5 matches. I lost to Trickstars, and I lost to Drytrons. But I placed 7th out of 24. I got top 8. I got top 8, and I actually got prizes. And I pulled Dogmatica, I believe is the name of the card, and I got $65 for it right there. So, really cool. Really cool, really excited. And tomorrow, I am waking up at 2:30 in the morning to go pick up 4 of my buddies from locals, and we are going to regionals in Philly. So I am super nervous, I'm super excited, and I wanted to get this video finally made before I head out. So my Dragonmaid deck is my main deck. It's the deck that I duel with in all my tournaments. It's my favorite deck because my girlfriend and I, like I mentioned in the last video, we watched the Dragonmaid anime together and we really liked it. And she got me this cute little Field Center card for Christmas one year. So I try to always use it when I duel. It's like our lucky charm. And, but yeah, let's hop right into it. So please forgive my messiness. I also do not have a camera that points straight down. So hopefully this view was alright. If not, let me know in the comments and I can see about maybe investing in a better tripod. So the core of Dragonmaids is that they play around returning to the hand or the graveyard and swapping out for bigger versions of themselves. So I'm going to go over just my base deck real quick. Alright, so first off, we have our big dragons. We have Dragonmaid Tinkek, we have Dragonmaid Ernest, and we have Dragonmaid Lorpar. Now there is another big Dragonmaid, Dragonmaid Nudural, but I choose not to run that because its effect isn't that good, and I also don't run its smaller counterpart, Laundry Dragon. All 3 of the big dragons have effects that you can activate by discarding them from hand. This one, if you discard, you can target a monster on the field and negate its effects till end of turn. This one has a quick effect where you can increase one of your monster's attack by 2,000, very good. And this one has a quick effect where you can discard it and special summon 1 level 4 or lower Dragonmaid from your hand. Now let's get on to our main smaller dragons. We have Chamber Dragonmaid. It is crucial to run 3 of these. Your deck will not function properly if you don't have 3 Chamber Dragonmaids in your deck. Chamber Dragonmaid is going to be your bread and butter. It's your main extender, because when you normal summon it or special summon it, you can add 1 Dragonmaid Speller Trap from your deck to your hand. This is extremely good. I usually use it to get out Hospitality or Changeover, because those are cards that you need to set up your board. Next we have Parlor Dragonmaid. This is another one that is really good to run 3 of. It's a wind element monster. It's a wind attribute monster, so that makes it really helpful if you're trying to get through a barrier statue of the Stormwinds. Parlor's effect is a little similar to Chambers, but how she works is that you can send 1 Dragonmaid card from your deck to the graveyard. Now, she is perfect for getting your big dragons out into the graveyard so you can swap out, or to send out Dragonmaid Tidying, which we'll talk about in a second. We have Kitchen Dragonmaid. I like to run 2 of her. Kitchen Dragonmaid allows you to get a Dragonmaid monster from your deck to your hand, but then you have to choose a Dragonmaid card from your hand to send to the graveyard. So it's a good swap out tactic. I generally use her for getting my big dragons to the graveyard, but it also works if I need to make some summoning. And then lastly, we have Nurse Dragonmaid. Now some people like to run 2 of her. I only have 1 in my deck because I feel I need to make space for the other cards. But when she is normal or special summon, you can resurrect 1 level 4 lower Dragonmaid monster from the graveyard. So she is perfect for getting lots of Dragonmaids onto the field in order to be used for summons. I also like to play 2 of Noctivision Dragon. Noctivision is a really useful utility card. Basically how it works is if you special summon a dark monster, you can special summon this monster in defense mode. Additionally, if it's in the graveyard, it protects your back row. And if you use it as link material for a link monster, you get to draw a card. So it's got a lot of use right here, but I only run 2 because it's real easy to brick on these. And then we have our basic hand traps. I run 3 Ash Blossoms. I run 3 Frame Gear Gamma. I don't actually like Frame Gear Gamma all that much because I tend to brick and I tend to only draw this card. But that's just because I have terrible luck. I've been thinking about swapping them out for something else, as I'd like to use as little hand luck as possible, but they are useful cards, and so I do recommend them. We have, of course, Nibiru. Nibiru is extremely helpful in clearing the board, especially if your enemy has pendulum summons or if they're running a ton of monsters. Nibiru has won me a few games, and I love this big card. And then we got Turtle. I like to run these because while I do have Gardala, which is a level 27 attack monster, this one only has 2200 attack, which means any of my large dragons can easily swing over them. And that does it for the monsters in this deck. Let's talk about the spells. So I like to play one Trade-in. Called by the Grave is another must-have. You get to target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it, and then until the rest of the next turn, they can't use the effects of any monsters with the same name. So it's great for taking care of Ash Blossoms, or it's really good against Eldritch. Next, I run two of World Legacy Guard Dragon. Now, I used to run this at 3, but again, I wanted to make way for other cards. This is essentially a monster reborn for any level 4 or lower dragon monster in your graveyard. Works great for getting your smaller dragon maids out on the onto the field. And it also has the cool effect of letting you move one dragon monster around in a monster zone once per turn. So you can do a really cool Sorry, I get a little nervous. Then we have Dragonmaid Changeover. Now, a lot of people run Changeover at 2. I like to only run it at 1 because I'm generally getting it by a search effect. So Dragonmaid Changeover is essentially polymerization for Dragonmaids, but a cool thing is that if it's in the graveyard, you can target a Dragonmaid on the field, pop it back to your hand, and then you get this back in hand. So unless it's banished, you can pretty much always get it back. Then we have these 3. Dragonmaid Hospitality is a wonderful card. It allows you to go ahead and special summon a Dragonmaid monster from your hand or graveyard, and then you can go into your deck and send a Dragonmaid with the same attribute but different level to the graveyard. So again, it's great for getting your little Dragonmaids out onto the field and sending the big ones to the grave, because you generally want to have them in grave or hand. And then Dragonmaid Welcome. This is a continuous spell card. While it doesn't seem to do much, it just gives you a standard 100 attack boost for each Dragonmaid on the field. It has helped me win some battles because I've been able to smash over, say, like a Blue Eyes or something, because I happen to have just that 100 extra attack points and the opponent forgot about it. Also, once per turn, if you have 2 Dragonmaids on the field, you get to grab a Sprouler Trap back from your graveyard to add it to your hand. So it's really good for that as well. Next, we'll get into the trap cards. Now, of course, I run 3 Infinite Impermanences. Dragonmaid Downtime. This is like the 5th time I have to record this because I keep screwing up. You target a Dragonmaid on the field, send it back to the hand, and then when you do, you can do one of 2 things. You can either send one of your opponent's spell traps back to the hand, or you get to draw a Dragonmaid card from your deck and add it to the hand. So it's really useful to have out. This card works excellent against Mystic Mine. And then we have Dragonmaid Tidying. Like Chamber Dragonmaid, you need to have these 3 cards. If you don't have these 3 cards, you're not at your deck's potential. So Tidying is another wonderful card because on the surface, it's a bounce back. You activate it, you bounce back a Dragonmaid, and then you bounce back one of your enemy's monsters to the hand. Great for tributed cards or special summon cards. But the cooler thing about it is that when it's in the graveyard, you can activate it from grave. When you do, you special summon a Dragonmaid monster in defense mode, and then this card is banished. So each one has 2 uses, which is pretty awesome. Well, let's talk about the extra deck. The extra deck is needed for this deck. And I'll show you why. So the main thing you want to do with your Dragonmaid deck is you want to bring out this House Dragonmaid right here. Now House on her own is pretty good, she's at 3,000 attack points, and once per standby phase, you get to get another Dragonmaid on the field if you already have one, and if its level is 1 or less than what's already on the field. So already pretty good. But even better is that every time a Dragonmaid monster you control bounces back to the hand, you get to target and destroy a monster. So she's wonderful. However, she's not as good as her secondary form, which is Dragonmaid Shio. Shio's got 3,500. Every standby phase, you get a Dragonmaid from your spell or from your graveyard or hand, no restrictions, and she has an Omni Negate. So how she works is you use the Omni Negate, it's used up, it targets, negates, then destroys. Then she is not destroyed. She swaps back to your extra deck and pulls out House. So you can keep summoning her as many times as you're able to, which is a great, great utility. So I like to run 2 House Dragonmaids, and 3 Shios. Because you want to be using your Shios as much as possible, and as possible that they can get banished. Next, I also like to run 2 Hieratic Seals of the Heavenly Spheres. On the main turn, it's really good to get a Dragonmaid Shio on the field as well as a Seal, and there's a pretty cool way you can do this. I'll show you later. Striker Dragon is used for the Pisty combo. There's also a Dark Monster, so it triggers the effects of Noctivision. Burl Sword, Guard Dragon Pisty, Nightmare Phoenix, really good for spot removal. Summon Great Almirage, Five-Headed Link Dragon, Abyss Dweller, and World Chalice Guard Dragon Almardu. And then my side deck. So here's what I run in my side deck. I'd like to run 3 Solemn Strikes, Red Reboot, to deal with spell speed cards, like Solemn Strike. Forbidden Chalice is really good because I can't afford Droplet, it negates enemy effects. Super Polymerization, Dark Ruler No More, Harpy's Feather Duster. Summon Limit, I don't like to play this card too often as it does limit me, but if I can shut down decks like Full Wanderies, then I am all good. We have 1 Raigeki, Phantasmal Dragon, Phantasme, DD Crow, and then lastly I run 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. So, siding out is still something I'm struggling with. It's the hardest part of the game for me, because I try to keep my deck pretty tight. Every card is in there for a reason, and so having to choose what to take out is difficult, although I usually try to take out Gamma. But yes, this is my deck. I am taking it to regionals tomorrow. I am very nervous and I'm very excited. I will take another video afterwards to let you know how I did, and yeah. So here's my deck of setup in EDO Pro. I just wanted to show you a few tricks that I mentioned earlier that can really help you get an edge on your opponent. So this is a strategy that I like to do with my Parlor Dragonmaids. So basically what I will do is I will normal summon. I will use the effect of Parlor to go ahead and send Tidying to the grave. Then I will summon Striker Dragon. Then, because I special summoned a Dark Monster, I can special summon Noctivision. And then I can get my Sphere out. Just like that, it's that easy. And Noctivision also gives me a +1 draw. And then I can use Tidying to bring back my Parlor if need be. If I didn't have Noctivision, I could do that to bring her to bring her back and use her as material for Hieratic Seal. Or I could even use Dragonmaid Hospitality to do that as well. So there's a lot you can do with the Dragonmaid deck. Another easy play you can do is use Parlor or Chamber and use the effect to send a Dragonmaid changeover either from your deck to either your hand or your graveyard. In this case it goes to the graveyard, but I can activate the effect, send her back to hand, and then I can go ahead and use it as its intended purpose and summon out my Dragonmaid Shio. So that's just one thing you can do with it. Well, that's about it. Thank you, everybody. I hate to do this, but please do like and subscribe if you can. I also have a Ko-fi link in the description below. I don't put any ads on these videos, and I don't make anything. So if you want to throw me $1 or 2 so I can keep making videos, that'd be really cool of you. And you'll get a little shout out in the video. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.